Hello and welcome to Working with Miniatures. I'm Jim and today we're going to be doing scatter terrain desert sand. Let's get to it. For this project, I'm using random shapes cut from scrap MDF board. The edges have been beveled with an orbital sander. You can substitute MDF with XPS insulation foam, poster board, or even cardboard. I had already cut a lot of these shapes with MDF, so I'll use them until they are gone. But in the future, I'll be using XPS foam or poster board as it's easier, quicker, and cleaner to work with. With super glue and PVA glue, I adhere a shape on top of several smaller shapes for some variation in elevation. The super glue is for a quick bond, while the thicker application of PVA glue helps reinforce the bonding, since MDF is very porous. Originally I had the grand idea of making the larger display board with massive sand dunes. Then I realized miniatures on these large dunes would have been a poor visual, as a rounded dune wouldn't be flat enough for the entirety of the base to rest upon. Also, top-heavy miniatures would just roll downhill. Once the glue is set, I apply AK Interactive Sandy Desert texture paste using a large but cheap flat brush. As I apply the paste, I also add slightly rounded parallel lines to add the illusion of windswept sand. You can use PVA glue and sand, but I prefer the texture paste as it's easier to work with and easier to clean up. For the two-tier piece, I add more texture paste to ease the transition between the two levels, and then add the windswept pattern after. With light tone wash from Army Painter, I wash both pieces entirely. Normally for terrain I use a cheaper homemade wash, however in this case the brown homemade wash I have is too dark, and I wanted the terrain to match the desert bases I made in a previous video. Next, I dry brush Delta Serum Coat's Luscious Lemon. It's at this point the terrain starts to look a little more like sandy scatter terrain and less like an amorphous peanut butter cookie. Finally, I dry brush Delta Serum Coat's Paint Decor Lemongrass. This is the finished result. That's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you learned something or inspired to do your own custom scatter terrain. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you like the content of this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Jim with Working with Miniatures. I am truly grateful for your time, and I bid you a fond farewell. Until the next video.